plaintiff, Edwin Hall, says when he met the defendant, he fell in love with everything about her, and they married 9 months later. Edwin claims after they tied the knot, the defendant started complaining that Edwin didn't listen to her and instead watched beach volleyball all day. Edwin's suing his ex-wife for a tax return and a lawnmower. Defendant Shirley Holt says after she married Edwin, he did nothing but watch sports all day and spend time with his dog. Shirley claims she refuses to return the lawnmower because she was awarded it in the divorce.
Tell me what happened.
Your Honor, Ms. Holt and I met in January of 2006. I fell in love with everything about her, and she fell in love with my silver hair.
06.
And everything went along real smooth. We eventually married. We married in September 2nd, 2006.
You met when?
January of 2006.
9 months?
When you get old, you've got to move fast, Your Honor.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Into the marriage, some problems developed. She pointed out 3 different things to me. The first was I didn't listen to her enough, and then the other 2, I didn't hear them because I wasn't listening. I was watching women's beach volleyball on TV, and I just didn't get it. But she did. I do.
You were watching women's beach volleyball.
Correct. And it was the 2 young ladies that won the gold medal in Spain, and then this year they won in China.
And that's why you were watching, because you assumed they might be gold medalists.
Absolutely. There was no other reason.
You thought there was, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
You tell me some background on the case.
All right. I met him in January of 06, and that was 3 years. Before that, I was married to my first husband, who died of cancer, and we were married for 34 years, and we had only dated 5 months. And I fell in love with his great sense of humor, his personality. I love to put my fingers through that silver hair. But the lack of attention started, going, and it was nothing but watching TV, spending time with Midnight, who is his dog, fishing, sports, you name it. No attention to me.
All right.
None whatsoever.
Go ahead, sir. We're going to get to these tax returns and the lawnmower. Give me a little more background, and then let's get to those things.
All right. She also accused me of being, in her words, cheap. I like to use the word thrifty. And I grew up just like you did, Your Honor, on a real tight budget.
That's why we're both thrifty. I definitely am.
Well, I'm the 3rd child of 8, so I was grown before I found out chicken had white meat.
I'm the 4th of 4. And I was grown before I found out that you're supposed to put bologna in between bread instead of ketchup.
Well, we're on the exact same page then, Your Honor. And then we agreed after we were married that she would pay for supper on 1st, 3rd, and 5th Saturday nights. I would pay on 2nd and 4th. If she picked the places, Applebee's, Red Lobster, and Longhorns. When I picked the places, a little bit cheaper. Now, it wasn't Billy Bob's and Mary Beth's roadkill, but it was still your more mom and pop cheaper places and everything.
Waffle House, Your Honor.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, that sounds good to Doyle, he says. So you were being thrifty with her. She was your wife, and then what?
There was also a problem with my sense of humor. I know she says she likes it. That's news to me. Ever since I was 5 years old, Your Honor, I was self-appointed, and I emphasize the self-appointed part about making people laugh. I'm sort of like anchovies on pizza. Everybody doesn't particularly care for it. Okay. Case in point, when we were together for about 2 months or 3 months, she was sitting there and we were talking, and she looked at me and said, "I love you." And my response was, "I can understand why." And it goes over good here, but it didn't go over so good at the time. Right. And so, and that was sort of the problem. And so ultimately, we divorced, and that's what's got us here.
And you're suing her about the tax return and a lawnmower. How so?
In 2007, when we did our taxes for 2006, we put some money towards home expenses, and then we did split 50-50 some of the rest. All right. And then in 2007, we knew we was going to get back a good bit from federal and state, and then they started talking about this stimulus check. So we decided to wait and combine all the money and possibly buy OFV. Off-road family vehicle. Family vehicle, yeah. Everybody calls them golf carts, but they're not really golf carts if you use them for off-road family vehicle things. And so before we ever got to that point, she decided she had enough and she left. And so now the money's still there. And basically, we're waiting for somebody to decide how to split it.
Well, during the divorce, it wasn't clear in your decree who gets what?
No, we chose to go no fault. Originally, I had a counter.
You still get a decree. You propose to the judge. You might have done it yourself or what have you. The judge looks at it and says, so ordered.
Correct. But the money was still there.
Let's see what the judge said or what the judge verified. Ma'am, let me hear your side.
Well, Your Honor, when we file taxes, anytime the first of the year when tax returns come, I believe in bills being paid first. Recreation vehicles come last. And as the one that most of the federal tax or state tax money that was paid came out of my paycheck. And so I paid most of the federal and tax money.
Sir, I'm looking here. The court awarded the plaintiff the riding lawnmower.
Yeah, what happened was...
Whatever happened, the judge said she gets it. So why are you asking me to overturn the judge's order? Is that what you're essentially doing?
Yes.
All right. And whatever you're telling me, did you tell the other judge that?
No.
As to why you should have it? Why didn't you?
I had a countersuit that involved the lawnmower. Then we dismissed it rather than go through the court. And her attorney pointed out that he wanted to make sure that the lawnmower didn't leave her residence and end up at my residence.
If you dismissed it, sir, that's exactly what does happen. It's dismissed. And I can't overrule a divorce decree issued by another court. This is not a court of appeals.
Right.
And with regard to the tax return, what happened before the divorce with the taxes?
It's still in her account.
What happened before the divorce? It remained in her account.
Yeah.
She received taxes jointly.
Yes, and it went into my checking account.
Why didn't you raise that issue with the judge?
I dismissed my counterclaim and went with the irreconcilable differences.
I understand that.
Okay.
But when you had the hearing regarding your divorce,
Yes.
why didn't you mention that? People claim irreconcilable differences quite frequently, most of the time now, but they still ask for a share of the assets.
I assumed when we did the irreconcilable differences that resolved the case, and then we were going to do the civil case.
I don't know where you're getting your legal advice or your legal understanding from. A divorce is a civil case. The judge ordered in the divorce that she keeps the lawnmower.
Correct.
And it also said that each of the parties are to keep all personal property currently in their possession, free and clear of the claims.
But
the check was in her possession at the time of the divorce.
But the check was made out to both of us.
It was in her possession. Everything was both of you all's.
Correct.
Until you got in that court. And the judge said, this is who owns what, and this is who owns what, despite whose name it was in. For example, when you own a house together, if you're a married couple, you own the house together, regardless of who's paid for it. You own the house together. When you get to the court doesn't say it's your house or it's their house based on previous actions, based on who paid for it. The judge says it's this person's house or it's that person's house based on the judge's perspective on fairness. And in this case, the judge ruled that each of the parties keep all personal property that's in their possession. The check was in her possession at the time. So if you didn't tell the judge, Judge, I think I should get half of the income tax that she has the check for. If you didn't raise it then, you can't raise it now. The only thing you can do, sir, because the divorce hasn't been that long ago,
right.
So you can go back and seek an amendment to your divorce decree and petition that the judge does what you're asking me to do. based on your sense of fairness. You say, Judge, I now want my share of the check because I didn't know that she was going to keep it to herself 100% based on what you ordered. So I would now like to amend my petition for divorce. Then the judge determines whether he or she wants to reopen the case. The judge could say, well, no, that's over with. That's done. You should have raised that earlier. I don't have time to go back to this. I have too many crooks in here I have to deal with. Don't you see all those politicians over there? Yeah, I got a lot of crooks to deal with, so I have time for you. So
The reason we
go ahead.
interrupted, Your Honor, is because we didn't want to go through that in court. But
You have to, sir.
I know. She's in agreement with me that she should get, that we should split the money.
Good. Well, then go back to the judge and say, Judge, why did she wink at me then? She's conning you. Have a good day. Claim dismissed.